Hi, my name is Boyd. I look after the butterfly garden at the ENMAX Conservatory at the Calgary Zoo. And welcome to your weekly dose. Against our expectations, we do have butterflies this year, so everybody's really happy about that. So welcome back our friends here. Our first batch of butterflies came in from Costa Rica. Now we deal with about 72 little farmers down in Costa Rica who all have a butterfly cooperative. And so they devote part of their agricultural production to plants to feed caterpillars. And then those caterpillars are turned into chrysalis, which are then shipped to us at the conservatory. We hang the chrysalis out in a special emergence cage in racks just like this, and you can see all these guys emerging this morning. Part of the issue with the farmers in Costa Rica is that we do support local conservation efforts. In order to have butterflies on their property, they need local jungle and plants. And these actually contribute to a better well-being for the environment instead of having a monoculture of maize or cassava or coffee, some other crop like that. Morning is my favorite time. We're sitting here at about 7:30 in the morning. The sun is just coming up over one side of the building. And this is the time of the day when the butterflies all decide it's time to get going. They're sitting in the chrysalis all night waiting. They're completely immature. The sun comes up and they pop. And right now they're popping in the dozens and dozens. The butterflies maybe live 2-3 weeks. They don't have a long life as an adult. So they've got a lot to get done in that period of time. There's nectar to drink and there's a lot of eggs to lay. And we have a huge collection of green plants. The plants are growing, they're flowering, and a lot of them are really here for the butterflies, provide them with nectar. Butterflies are sugar powered. These guys basically dip into the nectar and it's about 40% sucrose or more and another 60% fructose. And if you go into the health websites, you know, oh, that's terrible, ruin your liver. These guys are fine with it. That's just what they eat. The other type of butterfly we have in here just ignores flowers completely. They just walk away from them, fly right by, and they head for the big fruit bowls we have out. And the fruit bowls we have out are kind of a mix of blended up grapes and bananas with some fruit set on top to make it a little more presentable. That's just for us to look at. The butterflies like the fruit when the yeast starts growing in it a bit. It makes a little bit of alcohol, smells kind of like cheap white wine when I pour it on. And that just brings the butterflies in. Because in the wild, they'll find a piece of fruit that's dropped off a tree. It's sitting on the ground. It looks absolutely horrendous and smells awful too to us, but to them it's ambrosia. They just dive in and just drink this fluid that comes out of the fruit. And eventually it reaches a point the butterflies still love it. I can't take it anymore, I have to change it. And so we put out fresh stuff pretty much every day for these guys. So the other thing you'll notice when you're in the garden is we do have a few opportunities for butterflies to breed in the garden. And so we have passion flower vines at the east end, and they climb right from the floor at the bed right to the roof. And these aren't grown for their flowers. These are actually grown because they're kind of a very weedy passion flower vine that a lot of the zebra longwings and other types of longwing butterflies love to eat as caterpillars. And the females are attracted into these vines because they produce kind of toxic chemicals. Toxic to us, but not the butterflies. The caterpillars and these butterflies are evolved to actually eat these toxic plants. And when they eat the toxic plants, they accumulate these chemicals in their tissues. And when they metamorphose into butterflies, a lot of these toxic chemicals are put into the wings. So it's a similar story with monarch butterflies that eat milkweed plants. The milkweed plants are toxic to us and very bitter tasting. And that's the key thing, bitter tasting. And what they do is a bird or a lizard will take them, eat a butterfly, and get this mouthful of just pure bitterness. And it'll spit it out. And then it remembers black and orange, not too great. And so in the tropics, there's a lot of black and orange butterflies. And they actually mimic whatever toxic butterfly or bad tasting butterfly happens to be the most common one. And so everybody tends to gravitate towards that type of color scheme. So it gives the birds and lizards a shorter learning curve. So fewer individuals have to be sacrificed for the sake of learning about how bad these butterflies taste. And these butterflies, the brightly colored ones, you can probably guess that they're going to taste bad. The ones that are gorgeous on the top, like blue morpho butterflies, they look like a piece of the sky that's fallen off and it's flying through the garden. They're absolutely amazing. And they have what's called a structural color in the top of the wing. There's actually no blue in these butterflies at all. But the scales on the top of the wing are made of chitin. They're clear. And they have this amazing microarchitecture that reflects blue light out. And they have a dark layer on the back, so it absorbs all the rest of the reds and oranges. And so when they fly by, they're just a reflective sheet of color. Now, when they fold their wings up, they disappear. These guys actually have spots on the back of the wing. They've got incredible mauve colors and browns and maroons, and they're very hard to see when they're sitting in the shade. And these are the tasty butterflies. And you can find these out because at some point they need to hide. They fly around to advertise themselves to other butterflies. So when one blue morpho butterfly starts flying, the other blue morphos see this and they start flying too. And they have these huge chains of butterflies flying around the garden chasing each other in mating flights. And then all of a sudden a decision seems to be made somewhere. One guy lands, then another one lands, and they all just disappear into the shrubbery. This is just part of the life experience you get when you come to visit us. Okay, well, thanks for joining us at the ENMAX Conservatory Butterfly Garden, and thank you for supporting wildlife conservation.